All right, everybody, welcome back. This is another Stormgate cast. I'm Algorithmore, and this is going to be a rematch between these two. Aureil Stormgate in the blue playing the Celestial, and his opponent playing the Infernal faction in the red. This is SenegaloRuskov. They're playing on Faerun's Refuge. There's another new map. There's so many new maps. I forget to comment on it maybe in some of my casts here. This is another new map, thanks to our community, who has been hard at work patching the game and creating new content for us. So if you haven't yet, go check it out. Jump on Stormgate. And for that matter, go play the 2v2 ladder. And if you want, form a 2v2 team and register for the 2v2 tournament coming up on January 4th. Hosted by myself and Frank Sriracha Jr. That's interesting. The glitch. There's some glitch effect that was also going on, making the Fiends glitch out too, which was kind of cool. Third arc ship on the way for Aureil. And our Fiends are going to heal up at the Wellspring after doing their little scouting run. And Senegalo is pushed forward to a third base already and is using a forward expansion pattern, but I mean, is there a different pattern? I guess you could go to this base next. So this is sort of forward, but
dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
That's the entry over here. So there's a big wall around it, so it is kind of protected despite being forward. Fiends here scouting for any potential attacks, but also Stormgate's about to launch. And if you are Infernal, yeah, you can usually grab this first Stormgate pretty quickly as long as it's uncontested. And this one at the moment is uncontested, and we can see how quickly the Fiends take down the damage, but also one Brute's going to be helping here as well. Stormgate captured. Let's see what we get. And it's going to be a Creeping Horror. Creeping Horror. What's Aureil doing here? So it did put out a Argent on this map. Maybe it's due to the map, and in that last game he was making a full wall in the front. This time maybe he needs the Argent for defense. But we've got our Vectors out now, 3 of them. He might wait for a 4th one before he goes. He's got 4 now. Now heading out. And Senegalo going for base number 4 real quickly here. While it's third base for Aureil. Now Aureil usually likes to be on the map with his Vectors, so here he goes. You can at least see that there's a lot of Shroud over here. What did he get there? Was that a Gaunt? I think that was a Gaunt that he got. But Senegalo having an easier defense. This map is really interesting, its layout, because we see here as Aureil needs to run around the outside. Took him quite a long time to get around the outside like that. And Senegalo pushes him back again. Yeah, this is kind of interesting map. I mean, there's a lot of trees here. Like, if you start knocking down trees, there's different attack angles. But you've got that one angle. And then the other one is through here. So these bases are pretty well protected, I'd say. Just from the natural layout of the map. Alright, they're going to fight over the Wellspring, it looks like. That Creeping Horror is helpful. puts down that slow effect is going to be extra beneficial against these speedy vectors. And so far the vectors haven't been able to get any real damage done, although here they come in for another poke. And the brute goes down, and ooh, vectors get away, even one really quite low vector.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
Our first Hellborn. The Stormgate's kind of out of position for both of them. But Senegalo, look at all these effigies over here. It's taken over a lot of this side of the map. Here come the vectors. Now vectors are great at picking off effigies, but because this map, you have to like really get in there. Aureil doesn't really want to go behind enemy lines with his vectors. That's how you lose your vectors. So he doesn't want to overcommit, and because of the different attack lines here being so sort of circumventing, he has to run his vectors around and around, and is not getting as much action with them as we were seeing on that other map. No one going for the Stormgate yet, but I feel like that could be an easy take from Aureil. Although it looks like he was worried because Senegalo keeps hovering over here, pushing forward, leaving his units sort of split like this. That's just a natural pre-concave. I feel like Aureil's using his arc ship a little bit as a scout, although he did fly it over there to drop an Aeon Gate. Aeon Gate again in this game. And Senegalo has had his army over here for a while, but hasn't chosen to push in. And this is an awkward pathing. This is a weird way to attack, but with the Hellborn is able to take out Judicator nodes. Didn't look like Aureil responded to that at all. His units appear to be on hold position. Now they're going to move forward. After a couple rounds of sabers show up, although the first round of sabers get lashed in. Another good lash. Another saber goes down. So this is actually doing pretty well for Senegalo. The arc station is flying above to try and tank some gaunt shots. Gaunts will retarget on it if they lose their target or too far away from other targets. Hellborn trying to go toe-to-toe with sabers, but I just don't think Hellborn win that battle. So Senegalo has to pull back. Staying on the Hellborn tech, though. And as we saw in the other games, there's a ton of sabers coming from Aureil now. And 2 arc stations. Okay. Interesting choice.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
I wonder what the idea is behind having 2 arc stations. Of course, they have more hit points. And like I said, they're useful as like a distracting kind of
Enemy forces have begun to
tank,
secure a
we could call
Stormgate.
it. What's going on here? Why do we have double Aeon Gate? That's a little confusing to me. Can you load and unload faster because of that, maybe? And in come... Okay, now wait a second. We got invisible looking dudes here. What causes you to be invisible as an infernal? I don't even know. Enshrouded. Oh, it's the Weaver. Nearby Weaver. Okay, Weaver ability. New Weavers were updated. So I think you have to be on Shroud to do that. But we've got Shroudfall at the moment, while Shroudfall just ended. Spriggans added. Weavers for their cool invisibility skill. And Shrouded. And a ton of Hellborn. Kind of looking like a little centipede of Hellborn there. But here comes Aureil's force. In from the top. Vectors as the leading arc, and then just a ton of sabers putting down the extra damage. And using these nodes to zone, really, which I really like that. Kind of cool. And here we go. Big battle. Here come the Weavers in, trying to do their thing. Looks like some Purifies going down. Dragon shows up. Again, the arc stations here. Look at how much damage they've taken. That's a lot of tanking. One goes down. So Senegalo actually coming out on top of that one. And I really think this map has been favoring him because it's been hard for Aureil to really harass into this. And look at how much Shroud spread there is on this. We're right into Aureil's base with the Shroud spread. Here we go. What are these bad boys called? Forsaken traps now. They're now Forsaken traps. No longer Venom traps. And he's just laying down a bunch over here so that if there is an attack along this arc, those units are going to be damaged and grab some debuffs. But it looks like this is going to be an attack path for Senegalo instead. And he doesn't really want to engage Aureil here toe to toe without setting up a good concave. And there he goes. He tries to get one. Getting some hex fields. We saw a bunch of vectors try and launch on top of this. Look at how many phantoms there are here. That's right. This looks like it's going to be a winning wave here from Senegalo. As his forces just push in, we do get a GG from Aureil.